hope is that once again this spurs a conversation in action, and I will continue to present those things that I can do administratively, but in the end of the day, Congress, states, local governments are going to have to act in order to make sure that we're preventing people who are deranged or have violent tendencies from getting weapons that can magnify the damage that they do.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you back, and of course, we're talking about the shooting. That was Obama in Paris talking about the Colorado shooting. And we've had some reaction, as mentioned, to the shooting today in San Bernardino. And Hillary Clinton, for one, has weighed in, and she has said that I refuse to accept this as normal. We must take action to stop the gun violence now. Martin O'Malley said, horrifying news out of San Bernardino. Enough is enough. It's time to stand up to the NRA and enact meaningful gun safety laws. Joining us on the Malzberg panel now, Brad Hirschfield, author of You Don't Have to Be Wrong for Me to Be Right, and president of CLAL, and Adam Thompson, senior partner at the law offices of Adam M. Thompson and syndicated talk show host. All right, Adam, again, it's all about the NRA, and if only we had gun background checks. And what about putting out these statements and rushing to judgment before we even know, as Hillary did? Hillary released this statement, while they're still looking for the men in the van.
I really hate when incidents of this nature happen, and within moments on social media, there's tweets from different pundits, and in this case, candidates that are running for office, or the president himself, one, before we know all the facts, and two, making it into some political agenda. This isn't the time or place for that. There's people that have been killed. There's people that have been shot and injured. Lives are at stake. We're still trying to get facts in. Let's console the families, get the facts, and focus on that first before we turn this into a political agenda for an issue that we're trying to push. There's a time and place for that debate later, but that narrative shouldn't be now.
But, Brad, they never miss an opportunity to exploit these kinds of tragedies, those on the left, blaming the NRA and blaming people who value and cherish the Second Amendment.
So, Steve, I can't respond directly to what Adam said because I didn't hear him, but I will respond to you. I think that actually there's a tendency on both sides to do this. I also don't want to lump President Obama and Hillary's response to Martin O'Malley's calling out the NRA, which strikes me as especially morally reprehensible and inappropriate factually. We don't know what is going on. We don't know. This might be a situation where it will turn out that actually having more people, sane people, appropriate people with weapons on scene could have prevented this. So I think that O'Malley seeking to politicize this as bodies are still being collected is really on the edge of obscene.
Yeah, but Brad, Hillary's doing the same thing without mentioning the NRA this time. What do you think she's talking about?
Here's what I think I heard Hillary do. I heard Hillary say, and I actually believe this, that whatever we're doing now from left and right is not working. We have a significant gun violence problem in this country, and we are in a policy cul-de-sac. The approach of the NRA to simply talk about the Second Amendment isn't making us safer, and the naive position that we can legislate this away and suddenly gun violence will stop is ridiculous.
And of course, Adam, it's not the first time that those on the left, Hillary, Obama, the others, have exploited this. You know what Obama actually said in Paris the other day? He actually said, you don't see this happen in other countries, talking about Colorado. He's in Paris, where a week and a half prior, they gunned down all those people in that concert hall, and he says you don't see this in other countries. And he was in Paris.
It's a suspension of reality. Physics doesn't exist in the real world sort of argument. It makes no sense. It's putting your head in the ground like an ostrich. But I do have to say, Brad makes some good points in that this is a problem that is there for both the left and right. It has to be addressed by both sides, and there has to be some common ground that everyone comes to, because the NRA isn't the end-all on this topic, and the Second Amendment isn't the end-all on this topic. And at the same time, we have to do something to end the bad gun violence that's a nationwide nationwide epidemic.
No, it's really not. It's really not an epidemic. It really isn't an epidemic at all. These kinds of mass shootings have, over the years, have decreased. And of course, if you take away guns from people, you're taking away guns from people who you know have them and who obey the law. You're never going to get guns out of the hands of the bad guys and the criminals and the terrorists and the loony bins who steal guns and get guns illegally and then commit these acts. So, I mean, I think it's pretty open and shut. Gun restrictions on law-abiding citizens is not the answer. Gun restrictions and locking up those who commit crimes. And, you know, the Chicago police commissioner who was fired had previously, months and months ago, said, the reason these people keep committing these crimes is because we put them in jail for 3 months. They come out and they shoot more people. That's the problem. More prisons, more stringent penalties, and mandatory sentences for the use of guns. We're coming back, folks, with Gimme 5.